My name is Janvi.
And I'm Malika, and we are going to be your MCs for tonight.
Shruti Laya is Wellesley's annual South Asian culture show, and every year we choose to incorporate a theme.
And this year, our theme is, drum rolls please, Dosti!
But Malika, what is Dosti?
Well, as Shah Rukh Khan from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai might say, Pyar dosti hai.
Malika, snap out of it, we have a show to host. Now tell me, what is Dosti?
Dosti is the Hindi word for friendship, is that what you mean?
On a deeper level?
Okay. Dosti is holding your friend's pani puri while she gets her mehendi done.
Oh, I see what you mean. So Dosti is helping your friend do all 1,000 pleats of her sari is what you're saying.
Well, I don't know if I would help anybody do 1,000 pleats of a sari, not even my dost.
Well, I guess you'll have to learn the meaning of friendship through the amazing performances we have today. But before we do that, we would like to read Wellesley College's land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that Wellesley College is built on ancestral and traditional land of the Massachusetts people. We also recognize the United States' removal, termination, and assimilation policies and practices resulted in the forced settlement of indigenous lands and the attempted erasure of indigenous cultures and languages. We further acknowledge the oppression, injustices, and discrimination that indigenous people have endured, and that there is much work to be done on the important journey to reconciliation. We commit to strengthen our understanding of the history and contemporary lives of indigenous peoples and to steward this land.
We further acknowledge the many indigenous people living here today, including the Massachusetts, Wampanoag, and Nipmuc nations, who have rich ancestral history in Wellesley and its surrounding communities. Today, their descendants remind us that they are still here and where they maintain a vital and visible presence. We honor and respect the enduring relationship between these peoples and this land, as well as the strength of indigenous culture and knowledge, the continued existence of tribal sovereignty, and the principle of tribal self-determination. Beyond this official acknowledgement, we recognize that we are on stolen land, and we extend our gratitude to the many indigenous peoples who have rich histories here for their ongoing stewardship of this land. I commit to recognizing, supporting, and advocating for the sovereignty of the indigenous nations whose traditional territories are in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as well as for the many indigenous peoples who work, live, and study in the Wellesley and Massachusetts area. By affirming this land acknowledgement, we affirm indigenous sovereignty and commit to holding Wellesley College more accountable to the needs of indigenous peoples.
Thank you all for your patience, and now we would like to introduce the first year dance.
Woo! Next will be our culture chair introduction. So please put your hands together to the two people who made all of this possible. Drum roll, please.
Enough of the drum roll. Please welcome Shruti and Nandini onto the stage.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. My name is Shruti.
And my name is Nandini.
And welcome to Shruti Laya 2026! As Wasatch Culture Chairs this year, we wanted to start by thanking everyone who made tonight possible. The performers, the choreographers, the tech teams, and everyone who poured time, energy, and effort into this show. We're especially grateful to the Office of Student Involvement, Doris, and Wellesley College for supporting this production.
And a special thank you to our fellow South Asian organizations, ISA, PSA, and BSA. We are so excited to share this stage with you tonight.
WASAC exists to create a space where South Asian students feel seen, heard, and celebrated. From Cha Times to Desi Disco, we hope to foster community, share traditions, and honor the many cultures that make up South Asia.
As our MCs mentioned, this year's theme is Dosti, which means friendship in Hindi and Urdu.
We chose this theme because friendship sits at the heart of South Asian culture. It's how we experience belonging, and it's how we experience care. And fittingly, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and that's usually a holiday that centers on romantic love.
But tonight we are celebrating another kind of love. The friends who show up for you, who cheer the loudest, who sit with you when things feel uncertain. Sometimes your friends are your Valentine. Aww. Across South Asia, there's often less emphasis on I and more emphasis on we. Care is collective, celebration is shared, and we see this in everyone, even in our films.
For example, in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, one of the most iconic lines in Bollywood cinema is Pyar Dosti Hai, love is friendship. Before love, before grand gestures, there's Dosti. In Dil Chahta Hai, three friends grow up, drift apart, and find their way back to one another. And in recent films like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, it's friendship, not romance, that carries the emotional core.
Time and time again, our stories remind us, love is powerful, but friendship is foundational. But Dosti isn't just something we see in our films, it shows up in our everyday lives.
And in the diaspora especially, friendship takes on even more meaning. When you're far from home, when your language, your food, and your traditions aren't the default, your friends become the place and the people who understand without explanation.
And that is what tonight represents. Every performance you'll see is built on Dosti. Dancers trusting one another, singers harmonizing with one another, organizations collaborating. This show exists because of friendship. Thank you for being here tonight, and we hope you enjoy the show!
Thank you guys for your hard work. I know they make it look easy, but there was a lot of dance rehearsals, emails, and planning that went into all this. That isn't Dosti. I don't know what is.
You're starting to finally get it! Let's get hyped for the next performance of the function. Please welcome Shairi onto the stage for the spoken word performance.
Hi everyone, my name is Sanya and I'll be reciting some Shairi or Urdu poetry. Shairi has long been an integral part of Pakistani culture, serving as an emotional outlet or a social commentary, using rich metaphorical language as a bridge of emotional connection between generations. We use Shairi as a tool to strengthen community and bring an essence of belonging and when people naturally feel lost or isolated, like we're hopefully doing here. So as per tonight's theme of dosti or friendship, I will be reading वो कैसे लोग होते हैं जिन्हें हम दोस्त कहते हैं by इरफाद अहमद मीर। वो कैसे लोग होते हैं जिन्हें हम दोस्त कहते हैं, ना कोई खून का रिश्ता, ना कोई साथ सदियों का, मगर एहसास अपनों सा वो अनजाने दिलाते हैं। वो कैसे लोग होते हैं जिन्हें हम दोस्त कहते हैं, खफा जब जिंदगी हो तो वो आके थाम लेते हैं, रुला देती है जब दुनिया तो आकर मुस्कुराते हैं। वो कैसे लोग होते हैं जिन्हें हम दोस्त कहते हैं, अकेले रास्ते पे जब मैं खो जाऊं तो मिलते हैं, सफ़र मुश्किल हो कितना भी मगर वो साथ जाते हैं। वो कैसे लोग होते हैं जिन्हें हम दोस्त कहते हैं, नज़र के पास हो ना हो मगर फिर भी तसल्ली है, वहीं मेहमान ख्वाबों के जो दिल के पास रहते हैं। वो कैसे लोग होते हैं जिन्हें हम दोस्त कहते हैं, मुझे मसरूर करते हैं वो लम्हे आज भी, इरफान के जिनमें दोस्तों के साथ के पल याद आते हैं। वो कैसे लोग होते हैं जिन्हें हम दोस्त कहते हैं। Thank you. And now...
Hi everyone, my name is Arush and I'm a first year. I'm from Pakistan and I'm going to recite an Urdu poetry by Faz Ahmad Faz called Mere Hamdam Mere Dost, which translates to my companion, my friend. अगर मुझे इसका यकीन हो मेरे हमदम मेरे दोस्त, अगर मुझे इसका यकीन हो मेरे हमदम मेरे दोस्त, अगर मुझे इसका यकीन हो कि तेरे दिल की थकन, तेरी आँखों की उदासी, तेरे सीने की जलन, मेरे दिल जोई मेरे प्यार से मिट जाएगी, अगर मेरा हर्फ़े तसल्ली वो दवा हो जिससे जी उठे फिर तेरा उजरा हुआ बेनूर दिमाग, तेरी पेशानी से ढल जाए ये तज़लील के दाग, तेरी बीमार जवानी को शिफा हो जाए, अगर मुझे इसका यकीन हो मेरे हमदम मेरे दोस्त, अगर मुझे इसका यकीन हो मेरे हमदम मेरे दोस्त, रोज़ो शब शामो सहर मैं तुझे बिल्हाता रहूं, मैं तुझे गीत सुनाता रहूं हल्के शीरीं, आबशारों के बहारों के चमनज़ारों के गीत, आमदे सुबह के महताब के सैयारों के गीत, तुझसे मैं हुस्नो मोहब्बत की हिकायत कहूँ, कैसे कुलछे के लिए झुकती है खुद शाखे गुलाब, किस तरह रात का ऐवान महक जाता है, यूं ही गाता रहूं तेरी खातिर, गीत बुनता रहूं बैठा रहूं तेरी खातिर, फिर मेरे गीत तेरे दुख का मदवा ही नहीं, नगमाए जुरगाह नहीं, मौनों से गम खवात सही, गीत निश्तर तो नहीं मरहमे आज़ाद सही, गीत निश्तर तो नहीं मरहमे आज़ाद सही, तेरे आज़ार का चारा नहीं निश्तर के सिवा, और ये सफ़ाक मसीहा मेरे कब्ज़े में नहीं, और ये सफ़ाक मसीहा मेरे कब्ज़े में नहीं, इस जहाँ के किसी ज़ीरूह के कब्ज़े में नहीं, हाँ मगर तेरे सिवा, हाँ मगर तेरे सिवा, हाँ मगर तेरे सिवा।
You guys might be wondering why I'm up here alone, but there's a really good reason why, because next up we're going to have the e-board dance. So please give it up for the Wellesley e-board. Wow, that was awesome. Who knew the power of those feet can make this dance look this good?
Totally. And of course, lots of help from our choreographer, Veda. A lot of help.
Right. Now let's welcome our friends from the Bangladeshi and Pakistani Student Association who are going to do another dance for us. And after that, please welcome our Wasak sophomores for their sophomore year dance.
Wasn't that amazing? Please give another round of applause for our sophomores and for BSA and PSA. Now we have a host from outside of Wellesley coming to perform.
Please welcome Tufts Paul.
కాకుండా మన మ్యూజిక్ ఏమన్నా
Thank you.
performances, and I'm trying to find a way to make it about myself, but unfortunately, I just can't. Give it up again for Tubbs!
I'd also thank you to Tubbs for driving all the way up here. We know that Boston traffic is no joke, but we're now going to have a brief intermission.
Please feel free to just have a quick stretch before our next events. Thank you so much.
Begin with the performances. We want to give a shout out to a very special member of our Wellesley South Asian community.
Dr. Neelima Shukla-Bhatt was Wellesley's first South Asian Studies professor and helped start the first Hindu organization on a college campus in all of the United States.
She's a scholar of South Asian culture and religion and the author of multiple books. We have been so lucky to have her as a professor here at Wellesley for as long as we have.
Dr. Shukla-Bhatt has attended and supported so many Shruti Layas and is a dost of Wasak. She will be retiring this year, so we wanted to take the time to honor this pillar of Wellesley's South Asian community.
Please give her a quick round of applause. But let's not get too sappy now because we have more performances to get to this evening.
So true, let's welcome Lali Guru's performance.
Please give it up again for lovely Guras, Wellesley's own polycultural group.
That was an amazing performance, but before we go on from all the singing and the dancing, we're gonna welcome our political chair, Ima, for a speech.
We know Dosti is not all about choreographic dances and sharing clothes. It's about standing up for our neighbors and community. Our political chair would like to tell you more about how Dosti applies in our modern world.
Hi everyone, my name is Ima and I am WASAC's political chair for this year, and I'm going to be delivering a speech about the importance and political meaning of South Asian creativity. The United States did not invite South Asians here to be artists. The 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act shaped South Asian migration to the US. It prioritized highly educated professionals, doctors, engineers, and scientists, creating a pipeline that filtered for technical expertise. The effects were dramatic. In 1960, there were roughly 12,000 South Asians in the US, but by 1980, the population grew to 387,000. Immigration accelerated yet again in the 90s with the IT boom and the creation of H-1B visas for highly skilled workers. This influx did not just transform the demographic landscape of the US, but also deeply shaped labor expectations for South Asian immigrants. In diasporic communities, especially those shaped by selective immigration policies, success becomes narrowly defined. Art, music, dance, the things that we are celebrating here tonight, are not the reasons why we're invited to be in this country. So, in this environment, creative ambition may take a backseat. Academic achievement, professional stability, and success in respectable careers becomes hallmarks of security. Creativity may feel optional, secondary, and even at times indulgent for many South Asian immigrants. However, South Asia itself has never been quietly creative. Our streets are alive with art. Truck art, where every cab, trailer, and bumper hosts hand-painted landscapes, bold calligraphy, and playful illustrations boast creativity. The intricate gestures and flowing rhythms of Bharatanatyam and Kathak, where every movement helps tells ancient stories, remains a coveted practice. And even the melodies from qawwalis and ghazals carry harmonies from the past to the present, still lingering in our ears. Creativity has always been our way of inhabiting the world fully, a means to express joy, identity, and resilience. And in the long line of ancestors who celebrated expression, poet Faiz Ahmad Faiz, one of the most celebrated Urdu poets of the 20th century, has this advice to offer through his poem, Bol. Speak. Speak, your lips are free. Speak, it is your own tongue. Speak, it is your own body. Speak, your life is still yours. Our people have long understood that creativity is not optional. It is our right, it is our inheritance, and it is our life itself. Despite South Asians being funneled into the United States for very specific reasons, our art is inseparable from us, and it shows in our artistic initiatives that have been started by many South Asian Americans in the 90s and the 2000s. For example, the theater collective, Peeling Banana, brought South Asian narratives to New York stages, mixing poetry, theater, dance, and music to explore what identity means between places and cultures. Founded in 2003 by a group of South Asian women based in San Francisco, Yoni Ki Baat gave a stage for brown women to perform poetry and host dialogue about issues prevalent with them. Many pieces included discussions of domestic violence, sexual health, and dismantling patriarchal systems. In the past decades, artists like the performance duo Dark Matter, formed by Janani Balasubramanian and Alokved Manan, took spoken word onto national stages and into slam poetry venues. Their work fused art and activism, articulating queer, trans, and South Asian experiences with a power and urgency that reshaped audiences' expectations of what poetry could be. In terms of visual art, Shanzia Sikandar, who moved to the United States in the 90s after rigorous training in the Indo-Persian miniature painting tradition at the National College of Arts in Lahore, reimagined century-old genres by combining modern artistic elements with ancient cultural motifs. Her work is exhibited in museums like the Smithsonian American Art Museum. Through the aforementioned artist, it's clear that creativity is vibrant and alive in diasporic communities, but it is our job to continuously recognize and value the power of the arts and the work of South Asian artists. And tonight, we truly embody the practice of celebrating creativity. Every dance, every spoken word, every song performed here by students carries on a legacy. These students balance demanding academic expectations, personal responsibilities, and the hopes and dreams of their families and broader communities, yet still make time to bring creativity into the public eye. They are continuing traditions that span centuries, and in doing so, they make those traditions their own. Let's make the promise to ourselves to always hold spaces in our lives where creativity, expression, and imagination are inherent. Let's promise to pass on our traditions while future generations have the freedom to create their own. Let's promise to never be faced by people who question why we may choose to practice art over using our time in other ways. Let's promise to speak, perform, and create, even when no one expects us to. The United States did not invite South Asians here to be artists, and this is exactly why our art cannot be ignored. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aima, for that thoughtful speech. Next up, we have a group Bharatanatyam performance. So please put together your hands for this performance. Wow, that was amazing. You know, John B., I actually went to some Bharatanatyam lessons when I was young, but I never did it as well as they did.
Probably not.
Now, our lovely and beautiful presidents, Aaliyah and Alishba, will grace you with their presence.
Hi everyone, I'm Alishba,
And I'm Aaliyah.
and we are the co-presidents of WASAC this year.
We want to thank you all for spending your Sunday and your Valentine's weekend with us.
We want to especially thank our performers. First, we want to thank Tufts Pulse for gracing us with your beautiful talent.
Second, we want to thank our Wellesley performers and the beautiful South Asian community that we have all fostered and built together. This community is very special to us, and it's heartwarming to see how far we've come together.
We want to especially thank Kriti and Nandini for their hard work coordinating the show as culture chairs, and we want to thank the WASAC e-board for everything they've contributed, and not only bringing this event together, but for the love and support that we've shared.
And thank you to our sound tech Svetlana, videographer Hao, and lighting tech Gloria for being here and for being such an essential part of us being able to share our culture today.
This year, we wanted to prioritize making WASAC a space that brings community together and is welcoming to all ethnic groups, sexualities, genders, religion, and caste. We have learned so much as presidents on how to navigate difficulties with grace, how to create spaces for everyone's voices to be heard, and how to best celebrate diversity among our South Asian community. And we are so grateful to WASAC for giving us this opportunity to grow and serve this community with passion and love.
As we celebrate friendship for this year's theme, we also want to express our deep gratitude for this intentional and loving community we're all a part of. For decades, South Asians at Wellesley have created a space that is filled with love, support, and mutual understanding. It's a beautiful thing to witness, and we're lucky to be part of it.
Personally, I am grateful for the friendships I've made over my 4 years at Wellesley. I've learned that friends can be soulmates too, and that nothing compares to the joy of quality time spent with friends.
We hope that this show today not only celebrates our beautiful South Asian culture, but also reminds you of the strength of friendship and community. May we continue to support each other and grow together.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Now it's time to change it up. I've been seeing all the fits in here tonight, and I must say, this is my personal Met Gala.
Come on, tell me this is your first Shruti Laya without telling me this is your first Shruti Laya. You know we always do a fashion show.
Wait, there's a fashion show? What?
Come on, John, I thought I told you to check the program. One of my favorite things about Shruti Laya is seeing everyone in their cultural clothing and showing off what makes us South Asians uniquely beautiful. So here to show you some cultural clothing from many different parts of South Asia, the members of the Wellesley WASAC community.
Wow, that was amazing. Give it another round of applause. All right, so we're gonna get started with one more dance. Give it up for our seniors dance performance.
That was so amazing. Congratulations again to our seniors. You know, next year that's gonna be me up on that stage doing the senior dance.
You're really aging yourself right now, aren't you? But speaking of old people, here are the senior slides! Woo!
step up. All right, so one last round of applause for our seniors. We're gonna miss so much.
Malka, it really sounds like you learned the meaning of dosti.
You know, yeah, I have. All those speeches, dances, and songs showed me how much people love the show because they can do it with their friends. Woo!
Agreed. Thank you so much for staying here today, and we'll see you next year.